I've just finished up with the Ohuhu markers and I'm not gonna lie, I am really impressed with them and I'm kind of impressed with what I've created. Now, I picked up this set of Ohuhu markers from Amazon and I thought that they were an amazing buy. These ones worked out to be about 60 pence per marker, which is incredible value when you consider some of the leading brands. So I've got the 48 set of colours by Ohuhu, and it also comes with the colourless blender, and I've got the chiselled nib on one side and the brush nib on the other within this set. You get your colour swatching, so you get two lots of paper, and they've also got each of the names of the colours along with the code of the pen. You get a little book about the Honolulu series, which is the set that I've got. So we're going to swatch the colour cards and see what the colours are like. I'm really excited to try these. My alcohol marker knowledge is not up there with other mediums, so I'm really looking forward to developing my knowledge on alcohol markers and getting used to how they work. I'm going to swatch on here and then create a piece of artwork. I wouldn't say that alcohol markers are a medium that I would gravitate towards usually, but I really wanted to try them out and I'd love to get really good at using them. So I thought I would try them out in this video. So I'm going to set out and swatch the cards. You get two swatch cards within this 48 set of markers, and you get to see the colours that you have available, because I did find actually whilst I was swatching that some of the colours on the lid didn't quite correspond with what came out. I'm really glad I sat and focused on actually getting the swatch cards completed so I could see what I was going to be working with. One thing I would bear in mind is that this swatch card paper is not bleed proof, so some of the colours have bled across and out, so if that's something that's going to annoy you, don't swatch on these swatch cards. I'm a huge fan of greens and blues and I found them to be just dreamy. I absolutely love this one here, the PB9 and PB6. Those ones I absolutely adore, and also G5. G5 is another colour that I absolutely love. So I was really keen to try and use some of those colours in my actual piece of artwork. In my haul, you would have also seen that I purchased this Winsor & Newton bleed proof alcohol marker paper. It's A4 and you get 50 sheets of paper. It bleeds through to the back, but it doesn't spread out. So I did find this to be a really useful paper to practice on and try these markers out with, because like I said, I'm an absolute beginner when it comes to alcohol markers, but I would love to be great at them. If you've got any tips that you can give me when working with alcohol markers, then please do let me know in the comments, because I am open to all suggestions, all tips. Let me know what I should be doing with these. And also, I apologise in advance if this looks absolutely terrible. Okay, so like I said, I'm a complete beginner when it comes to alcohol markers. I've used them a handful of times, if that, and I would really love to get good at using them. I'm going to get started, and I think I'm going to sketch a ring pop. I love working on things that are nostalgic and just make me feel happy, so I'm going to go for a ring pop and think of nice bright vivid colours. Okay, so I sketched out my initial ring pop and then I just tried to remove as much of that surface graphite as I could, because I don't want that to show through with my alcohol markers. So I'm starting out and I'm going to be starting with sort of like the plastic holder first. I'm going for reds and pinks. I want this to be really vibrant, really colourful, and I want to still be able to see some highlights in there as well. So I'm going to see how well some of these colours can actually blend on top of one another to get the effect that I'm looking for. Now I'd say that this series of Ohuhu markers that I purchased are really, really good for this particular drawing because they're very vibrant. I have got the Honolulu series, and it comes with a lot of vibrant pinks and greens and blues, so that did not disappoint in the type of thing that I was trying to create. I found that I had plenty of pinks to get started, and I did try and start out with some of my lighter colours first, but then I soon realised it wasn't quite the right pink that I was after. So I did have to kind of try and change tactics slightly, but overall I'm quite pleased with how the little ring plastic holder turned out for the ring pop. I also like to use some sort of scribbly marks when I'm drawing as well, and with the brush pen I could get that in quite nicely. So I felt like I didn't have to lose out on any sort of expressive marks when using the alcohol markers, and I could get some more expressive marks in that I was looking for, because I don't always want a really smooth polished finish with my artwork. I do like to be able to see brush strokes, I like to be able to see texture in my artwork, so it was nice to be able to layer up some of the brush nib pen and still see those marks within the piece. Now I am an absolute beginner when it comes to alcohol markers, so for me, I found these ones to be really user-friendly. I like how they are round to hold, so they are quite chunky, but I do like that they are round. They're not sort of like a square pen or a triangle. I've had some of the cheaper ones in the past that are sort of square and they feel really uncomfortable and clumsy to hold, whereas these ones I found to be really, really comfortable. And I also like the fact that you get two ends on them. So I went for brush and also the broad or the chisel nib, and I'm mostly going to be using the brush nib because, if I'm perfectly honest, the chisel nib scares me. I don't know how to use that properly, and I get a little bit of fear in case I do something and then it's wrong and it's going to just look too clumsy on my artwork. So I'm mostly going to go for the brush nib in my piece of artwork. I suppose the biggest thing for me was having a little bit of fear to let go and allow myself to experiment fully with these pens, which is quite difficult to do sometimes, especially when you're filming yourself creating something with a new medium and putting it out there for everybody to see. Now onto the actual pop part of the ring pop. I wanted this to be sort of turquoisey blues and greens for this piece, and also remembering that it is a transparent part to this drawing, so trying to get that across with using these alcohol markers. And I do feel like I have challenged myself quite a lot in order to get this piece to look correct. I'm sure, I don't know, you might be looking at this and thinking, Gemma, this looks absolute trash, what are you talking about? But I am pleased with the colours that I have chosen for the pop part of the ring pop. I felt like the OHUHU markers blended really well together, and I feel like the colour usage was really interesting. I liked how they layered, and you could then sort of change colours by layering additional ones over the top, and it was really interesting to play around with these alcohol markers. I'm thinking of starting maybe a mini series where I perhaps do a small piece every single day to show my progression and how I'm trying to make improvements by using different art mediums. Let me know in the comments if that is something you would be interested in seeing, maybe just through like a daily short or something like that, but let me know in the comments if that's something you would like to see and how I progress with this art medium. Maybe you could even join me and try the challenge as well. If you're looking to get yourselves a set of these alcohol markers, I will leave a link to them in the description box so you can join me on this challenge. As a complete beginner with alcohol markers, I found them to be a fantastic set of pens. I found that there were lots of colours in there and I didn't feel restricted at all. So I would highly recommend this set to a beginner. I think absolutely perfect value for money. You get a lot for your money. 48 alcohol markers, and I think I spent just under £30, I can't quite remember, but these pens are absolutely fantastic value and you can pick them up really easily on Amazon, and I know in the US you can also then buy them in store as well, so I would recommend them. I didn't have any duds. I found that all of them gave a really vibrant colour, and I didn't have any that were dried up. When I've bought cheaper ones in the past and tried them, the first time using them they were completely dried and they just wouldn't work. So for that reason I would highly recommend these pens. And that is everything. I would say that I am happy with my final drawing for a kind of beginner, very first time using the bleed proof paper, first time using better quality alcohol markers. I am pleased with the outcome. If you'd like to see how I progress with these alcohol markers, then make sure you let me know in the comments whether you would like to see that. If you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It will really help out my channel if you do give it that big thumbs up. And if you've enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.